Okay. Welcome, Orange Frog community. This is Andy Greatrex here from International Thought Leader Network, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be with you today for our special Back to School Orange Frog info session. We've got a fantastic episode lined up, one that I believe is incredibly timely for educators everywhere. Our goal for the next 45 minutes is to give you a very clear roadmap for how the Happiness Advantage Orange Frog Workshop can truly transform your school culture. We'll also highlight some incredible limited time offers designed specifically for you. Now, I'm going to hand over to our resident education expert, Master Certified Facilitator Kim Tufnell, to run through what the Happiness Advantage Orange Frog Positive Psychology offering is. Kim.
Good morning, Andy. Thanks for such a great introduction. I'm excited today to talk about the work that we do and really to share this once in a lifetime, it seems like to me anyways, the offering that we have for our back to school. So let's jump in, let's infuse people with some positivity and talk about the work that we do with Shawn. So as you know, high quality education is often called the great equalizer, but that's only possible when our educators feel energized and fulfilled. Passion isn't just a nice to have, it's essential in our classrooms. The Orange Frog helps reignite that passion by supporting the well-being of staff, which then radiates out to the students, the families, and to the community. Our goal isn't just excellence in performance. It's also making sure people feel great while achieving it. Through the Orange Frog Workshop, we're investing in the mindset of the entire district, the staff, the students, and the families. It's not just about what we do, but how we feel when we're doing it. So our work is based on Shawn Achor's Happiness Advantage. ITLN is in an exclusive contract with Shawn Achor. Shawn is a positive psychologist and researcher. He had one of the most popular courses on the Harvard campus for 7 years. He has one of the top 15 most watched TED Talks of all time. He's an international bestseller of the Happiness Advantage and has the most popular training workshop on happiness. So if you haven't seen Shawn's TED Talk, we're going to play just a little snippet of it here so you can understand where we start with the Orange Frog Workshop.
When I first started talking about this research outside of academia, out with companies and schools, the very first thing they said to never do is to start your talk with a graph. The very first thing I wanted to do is start my talk with a graph. This graph looks boring, but this graph is the reason that I get excited and wake up every morning. And this graph doesn't even mean anything. It's fake data. What we found is if I got this data back studying you here in the room, I would be thrilled because there's very clearly a trend that's going on there, and that means that I can get published, which is all that really matters. The fact that there's one weird red dot that's up above the curve, there's one weird in the room, you know who you are, I saw you earlier. That's no problem. That's no problem, as most of you know, because I can just delete that dot. I can delete that dot because that's clearly a measurement error, and we know that's a measurement error because it's messing up my data. So one of the very first things that we teach people in economics and statistics and business and psychology courses is how, in a statistically valid way, do we eliminate the weirdos? How do we eliminate the outliers? So that we can find the line of best fit, which is fantastic if I'm trying to find out how many Advil the average person should be taking, too. But if I'm interested in potential, if I'm interested in your potential or for happiness or productivity or energy or creativity, what we're doing is we're creating the cult of the average with science. If I ask a question like how fast can a child learn how to read in a classroom, scientists change the answer to how fast does the average child learn how to read in that classroom, and then we tailor the class right towards the average. Now, if you fall below the average on this curve, then psychologists get thrilled, because that means you're either depressed or you have a disorder or hopefully both. We're hoping for both because our business model is if you come into a therapy session with one problem, we want to make sure you leave knowing you have 10. So you'll keep coming back over and over again. We'll go back into your childhood if necessary, but eventually what we want to do is to make you normal again. But normal is merely average. And what I posit and what positive psychology posits is that if we study what is merely average, we will remain merely average. That instead of deleting those positive outliers, what I intentionally do is come into a population like this one and says, why? Why is it that some of you are so high above the curve in terms of your intellectual ability, athletic ability, musical ability, creativity, energy levels, your resiliency in the face of challenge, your sense of humor? Whatever it is, instead of deleting you, what I want to do is study you. Because maybe we can glean information, not just how to move people up to the average, but how we can move the entire average up at our companies and schools worldwide. The reason this graph is important to me is when I turn on the news, it seems like the majority of the information is not positive. In fact, it's negative. Most of it's about murder, corruption, diseases, natural disasters, and very quickly, my brain starts to think that's the accurate ratio of negative to positive in the world. What that's doing is creating something called the medical school syndrome, which if you know people who have been to medical school during the first year of medical training, as you read through a list of all the symptoms and diseases that could happen, suddenly you realize you have all of them. I have a brother-in-law named Bobo, which is a whole nother story. Bobo married Amy the unicorn. Bobo called me on the phone from Yale Medical School. And Bobo said, Shawn, I have leprosy. Which even at Yale is extraordinarily rare. But I had no idea how to console poor Bobo because he had just gotten over an entire week of menopause. See, what we're finding is it's not necessarily the reality that shapes us, but the lens through which your brain views the world that shapes your reality. And if we can change the lens, not only can we change your happiness, we can change every single educational and business outcome at the same time.
And I love that, if we can change the lens through which our brain views the world. And that's what we do, is we work with people on helping them retrain the brain to see the positives. So Shawn's message is simple and powerful. Happiness fuels success, not the other way around. So what is the Orange Frog? Well, it's more than just a book. Shawn took his information from the Happiness Advantage, knowing that people would probably not so much want to read a research book. And he put all of his information in a parable form. It's a parable, a metaphor, and a research-backed approach to reshaping how we see our work. It blends science with storytelling to help people understand how to create a culture of positivity in both professional and our own personal lives. The Orange Frog Workshop brings the parable to life. It's immersive, practical, and deeply rooted in positive psychology. The workshop teaches us that happiness isn't about ignoring the problems. Many people talk about that. Is this toxic positivity? No, we call that irrational optimism, when we're not willing to acknowledge the challenges. What it is about, though, it's about believing that change is possible. And when our minds are in a positive state, we're able to be more creative and more open to new ideas. Change is possible, and then taking small actions to influence it. So we have to acknowledge what many people are feeling: burnout, low morale, staff shortages everywhere, and culture sometimes can feel intangible. But it's a powerful force. One of the greatest predictors of a school's success is the culture of the building. And this workshop helps us rebuild our culture intentionally, strengthening morale, retention, and ultimately student success. So this is a bold and visual reminder: happiness isn't just a feeling, it's a performance enhancer.
The Happiness Advantage.
Here's an example of a district, sorry about that, already leading the way with this work. District 54 has
The Happiness Advantage is exciting to me because it's unlike any other cultural impact that we've had on a building. I think what it discusses first and foremost is how you're going to bring your best self to work. And that's exciting to me because most of the things we do at a school level is about the community, the staff, the students buying into an idea, a theme, a program. But the Happiness Advantage talks about principles and practices that we can do individually to bring our best selves to work. And that is really exciting work, because if we all bring our best selves as staff members, our best selves as family members and community members, and our best selves as students, undoubtedly we're going to have the most positive culture that we could ever imagine. And once we bring our best selves to work, we talk about happiness, but as Shawn Achor's work talks about happiness in the same vein as engagement. And engagement is a huge buzzword in schools. Engagement in learning is really what we're all about, and making sure students are learning the right things in their classrooms.
Who wouldn't want that, to be more engaged in the things that you do and live a longer life? So I've had the opportunity to be on the admin team that is going to take Shawn's work, bring it to District 54, and really push it back out into the buildings where it impacts our teachers, it impacts our kids, and it impacts their success.
Each day we can take opportunities as chances for growth, and what's most important is that with every new school year, new challenge, we have the opportunity to take those possibilities and positively impact the lives of our students, both academically and social emotionally.
And some of the return on investment that Schaumburg has seen is an increase in student engagement and an increase in staff engagement. Staff retention increased. Suspensions decreased by 55%. And these are some of the results that we see in many of our districts that we work with. So here we have some testimonials, and they're not just warm and fuzzy stories. They're real leaders who saw transformation. One superintendent called it a movement. A principal saw teachers re-energized. A teacher leader saw joy spreading by focusing on what is working. These are the ripple effects that we aim for. So what can your team expect? A science-backed, engaging workshop that includes hands-on tools like the Zorro circles and 20-second rule. We examine how social scripts shape behavior and how we can rewrite those. The workshop concludes with action plans for sustained momentum. As you know, there's so many times when we have professional development that it just fades. But we designed this for long-term impact. From implementation coaching to train-the-trainer programs, we help you embed these tools into your routines. And it's not something that's on top of, because nobody needs one more thing. We show you how to embed these things into existing routines. It's not a one-off, it's a strategy for culture transformation. So Andy, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can talk about our limited time back to school offer for clients.
Well, thanks, Kim, for that information. And I know there's a lot of questions that have been sent in, so we'll get to those shortly. But
Sure.
I just wanted to say there's never been a time like now to be bringing the Happiness Advantage Orange Frog into your school district, and both from an administration point of view and from an educator point of view and from all staff that work in your school district. So this year, for the first time ever, we're doing a special back to school offer. If you book and deposit by September 30th, 2025, we're offering 20% off all on-site workshops.
Wow.
So that is professional development days, kickoffs, full training. And so long as you book it by the 30th of September, we can schedule the workshop anytime through June 2026. So this is an amazing offer. With the purchase of 100 kits, if you do train the trainer, we'll also give free professional services on site, which is a value of $15,000, which is absolutely amazing. We've never done that before. So also, as a bonus, if you do that, you go in a draw for 50 copies of Shawn's book, The Happiness Advantage, and attendance at a private and exclusive webinar with Shawn in 2026. So winners are going to be announced on the 31st of October there. Also, if you're an existing client, I know there's lots of turnover in some of the schools, and new teachers. I know, Kim, you've been doing a lot of that during August with new teachers, and purchase of 50 kits or more will give you a 10% off your order, and also the complimentary attendance at a exclusive 2026 Shawn Achor webinar. So same benefits again. If you purchase 100 kits and you want to go through the certification, we will provide those professional services fees for you. And then two exciting things. I love these. So we have our Train the Trainer public program. We have one in Alexandria, Virginia on October 28th to 30th. And also in San Diego. Who doesn't want to be in San Diego in December? And
Right.
we have a QR code up there. We'll just leave it there for a second. But this is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. In that, we do module one, personal transformation, the module two, which is creating positive workplace environments. And then the third day is the precursor to certification, which is going through our Train the Trainer program, where we go through what's the purpose of what we do, what's the process, what's the payoff. And Kim, I'm sure, I know you've been involved in lots of these, incredible amount of energy. You get to be with
Absolutely.
your peers right across the country and other industries. So we hope you can join us for the Train the Trainer program.
What I love about the Train the Trainer is that you're building capacity within your district. And then, as we've seen so many times in this last month, many of our school districts, because they have their own trainers, use the one-day workshop to onboard new staff. And so I love seeing the pictures that are on LinkedIn. And that is a great way to continue to build capacity and bring back those feelings of the orange frog
Yeah.
again.
So Kim, I know we've put these on the slides. So we received a
Mhm.
number of questions about this, and I think this is a really good way of explaining a little in depth more about what the Happiness Advantage Orange Frog Workshop is and how it benefits schools. So I'm going to hand it over to you because I know you have the questions up there so
Yep.
everyone can see them. I'm sure we'll all learn something from those questions.
Right. All right. So, first one, what exactly is the Orange Frog Workshop and how is it different from other PD? Well, it's research based, interactive experience that blends storytelling with science. Unlike traditional professional development, it's immersive, memorable, and highly practical. The parable format makes complex psychological concepts easy to understand, and the tools it teaches are designed to be used immediately to create lasting cultural shifts. So, is this just about being more positive, or does it actually help with real challenges like burnout and retention? And that's a question that we get all the time because people think about happiness and how are you going to make me happy? Well, we can't do that. That is a choice. But what we're talking about is a mindset shift. Okay. So the program addresses real issues. It's not about pretending everything is great, that irrational optimism. It's about helping educators build resilience, shift mindsets, and focus on what's within their control. By strengthening relationships and emotional well being, it helps reduce burnout and supports long term retention. So is the orange frog story appropriate for adults? People think that because it's in a parable form and we've got all of these cute little characters that it's not for adults. And I remember somebody asking me that one time, like, are people really going to buy into that? And my thing is like, we all do. We all buy into it because here's the thing about the book. Even though it's written in a parable and it's a metaphor, that resonates with everyone, the characters within it. People can understand that. And so the story is written that way, and it might appear simple, but it's highly effective for adult learners. And that's something that we really take into account. How do adults learn? The simplicity is intentional about it. It helps, excuse me, it helps key ideas stick and it creates a common language for culture change. Educators at all levels have found it engaging and impactful. And even students, when we do our student workshops, everyone understands the parable. So, what kind of research supports this approach? The program is grounded in over a decade of research from Harvard and other leading institutions in positive psychology. Shawn Achor's work has been published in peer-reviewed journals and featured by Harvard Business Review. The science shows that happiness fuels success, not the other way around. Does this have measurable impact on student outcomes, which is very important? Absolutely, it does. Educators who feel supported, connected, and positive are more effective in the classroom. Districts that have implemented this approach report improved student engagement, reduced disciplinary incidents, and stronger academic performance. Culture change starts with adults and it flows down to the students. How long is the workshop and who should attend? The core workshop is a full day experience, 6 to 7 hours, and it can be delivered in person or even virtually. It's most effective when diverse school teams attend together. This isn't just for teachers and administrators. We love to have bus drivers involved. They're the first ones who see our kids. Cafeteria, everyone should be involved in the workshop. The more people who participate, the stronger the cultural impact. So what happens after the workshop to keep things going? Another great question. We're in it for the long haul with you. We provide coaching, sustainment tools, and optional train the trainer certification to build long-term capacity. Many schools create happiness action teams or integrate the tools into regular meetings or school practices. The goal is to embed this into everyday routines, not just leave it as a one-time event. And we're there to support you throughout the entire process. Is this aligned with other initiatives like SEL, PBIS, MTSS? And absolutely. The Orange Frog enhances these frameworks by helping adults develop the emotional intelligence, optimism, and habits needed to lead with clarity and compassion. It strengthens the foundation upon which SEL and behavior systems can thrive. And also, we know that it's important that it connects to your school improvement plan. So the majority of our schools already have staff well-being and student well-being in their school improvement plans. So we also see to it that those align with you as well. We've also had great success with grant initiatives with 21st Century Community Learning Center grants that we've had organizations able to implement Orange Frog through those initiatives as well. What are the costs involved and are there discounts available? The cost always depends on the size of the group and the format. Is it going to be on-site? Is it going to be virtual? For new clients, as Andy told you already, we've got a back to school special running through September 30th, which includes that 20% discount on the workshops and free on-site certification with the purchase of 100 kits. There's also a bonus giveaway that includes books and a live webinar with Shawn himself. So what's included in the kit and how many do we need? Another great question. Each participant kit includes workshop materials, habit building tools, and access to post-training resources. For the train the trainer pathways or district-wide rollouts, we recommend at least 100 kits to access additional benefits like free on-site certification and resource bundles. What is a Train the Trainer program and who should attend? The Train the Trainer program is a 2-day immersive session, 1 day for the full workshop, 1 day for facilitation training. It's ideal for districts that want to embed this work sustainably and lead workshops internally. Final certification is completed on site to ensure high quality delivery. And how do we sign up for the Train the Trainer events? You can sign up through Orange Frog Experience website or by contacting Andrew Graytrex directly. We also have a QR code if you'd like to sign up. So we have 2 coming up October 28th through the 30th in Alexandria, Virginia, and then December 2nd through the 4th in San Diego. Early registration is encouraged due to limited availability. And there is Andy's email address there if you'd like to contact him directly. Will this work in all types of school? Urban, rural, large, small? You bet it will. The Orange Frog Workshop has been successful in a wide variety of school systems across the country. Its flexible design allows it to scale based on the needs of culture, on the needs and the culture of the district or the school, whether it's rural, whether it's suburban, or it's urban. And what happens if our leadership changes after we start? Great question, and that does happen. Because the tools and habits are distributed throughout the organization, not just held by the leadership, the work continues regardless of leadership changes. Many districts have built sustainability by training internal facilitators and creating ripple effects across their teams. So let's not forget, the core message is about choosing happiness, and it's a leadership decision. It's a cultural choice, and it's one that starts with us. This work is more about, sparking a movement. It's not just a training.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Kim,
Mhm.
for running us through that today. I know we truly can't wait to share more and to help you build a culture where positivity drives student success and everyone's success in your school district. As Kim said, to learn more about our special limited time offers and to view back to school offers, please visit our website, orangefrogexperience.com. There's a brochure up there. There's a QR code to get you there. It includes all the details for both new and returning schools. And if you need any further information or wish to discuss how we can tailor a program for your school, please feel free to reach out to me directly. My details are up there. Appreciate you all for tuning in to this special information session. We look forward to partnering with you all and to make the 2025-2026 the best year ever for your school community. All the best. Keep the orange going and appreciate you all. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.